Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. We're going to be finishing up the last half of chapter 2 in our new book, Mary's Message to the World, written by Annie Kirkwood. So, Message to the World for chapter 2 is Mary's predictions. And this chapter was a bit longer, so we definitely just cut it in half. I think it was 40 pages, yeah. Okay. So just sit back and relax and listen. And again, in talking about these predictions and events that were predicted to happen in the world, do not allow fear to enter into your heart. Just listen and take what you will from it and ponder it after you hear it. I will be appearing in many places in these last few years, and so will other angels of God. They will come to answer questions and to give advice. Many will think them devils, and many of your religious leaders will confuse the people and give wrong advice. They will denounce the spiritual realm which will show itself to mankind. When will you on earth realize the Satans and devils have always been only in your mind? It will not be an outer guidance, but an inner guiding that these angels will come to assist. In these last years, those who are sincerely seeking God will have the advantage. They will already be on a first-name basis with God and will know what it feels like to be in close communion with God. The divine will become your lighthouse and your lamp. The divine within will lead you to safe areas and to those places which will save your physical lives. Now is the time to find the divine light in your mind. Now is the time to light the lamp of spirituality. Now is the time to come forth to seek God in your mind and in your heart. Do not look for God in any other place. For in these last days, many will say, over here, and over in this religion is the truth. The divine door to God will not be any place except in your own mind. And to worship God, the door will be in your heart. You have read Jesus' words with this warning that, in the last days, many would rise up and say, here and here. But Jesus also told you the kingdom of heaven is within you. This is the truth as it was given 2,000 years ago, and it is still the truth today. Only within you can you find God and all the help you desire. We know there are many theories about how these events reflect a turning of the consciousness and a tilting of roles between men and women. These theories are not true. The truth is that the very planet Earth will flip over on its side. All the land that has lain fallow over these last millions of years will take its place above the seas. This will be new land, and the stars and planets will be stationed differently. Indeed and in truth, there will be a new Jerusalem, a new world, and a new heaven. I am speaking only about those events which will precede the last turning over of the planet in my predictions. The world will begin to notice many unusual events, and there will be much consternation and perplexity among your scientists. They will never agree or make a decision about what to do for the masses. This is a great responsibility. No one will want to take the risk of being wrong. My truth comes from God. This event was started many millions of years ago. By the time Jesus came to earth, the spirit world was already preparing for this major event. There has been much activity in the spirit world for many centuries. For the last few hundred years, many souls have been incarnating and trying to learn and practice all they can. Perhaps that's you, perhaps that's me, or somebody you know. Many on earth have recently returned to the spirit world and have immediately been reborn again. It seems that many want to be on earth when this event happens. There is not an event of this magnitude very often in the universe. The universe is growing and expanding and will soon explode in new growth and new life. It is as if the whole universe has been pregnant for many hundreds of years. The turning of the axis is the story of the book of Revelation. It is the story told in all cultures and in all races as the return of the gods. It has been told throughout eternity, for this is a major event. All the cultures of the world have had in their antiquity stories of these last times, the last times of this era and not of the world. Nor is this the end of the world. Make sure you understand that this is not the end, but the beginning of a new era and a new world and a new understanding. The need to prepare is now, right before the birth of this new era. Many of my predictions are already coming true and are given to convince you that I tell only truth. The earthquake in India, which was in August of 1988, was but the beginning of the earthquakes which will increase in quantity and in magnitude. The earthquake which will happen in 1990, you may consider big, but they are simply a warning of those which will rock the earth at the end of this century. Japan will fall into the sea, and that part of the world will become frozen wasteland. China will have much land laid to rest under mountains of ice. The islands in the South Pacific will increase in size, and there will be new land which will produce many forests. The continent of Europe will almost vanish as it returns to the sea. The Middle East will change climate and become quite cold and mountainous. The deserts will bloom and become virtually gardens of green growing specimens. Much of the land which your country, America, occupies will be turned on its side and will all become a warm climate. It will be quite different than it is now. Yes, I know you have hot summers and cold winters. Your climate will become milder and it will not be too hot or too cold. The lands which will disappear completely will be the northeast and western parts of your country, England, France, Greece, and much of the Middle East. The land which so many wars have been fought over will disappear and no one will gain it. And just as a reminder, these are predictions from the year, I think it's 1993 on. Let me just double check. Yes, so from the year 1993 on is what we're talking about right now. Australia and that part of the world will become the major nations and will lead the world in peace and in reconstruction, for they will maintain much technology. Much of the land which is barren will then bloom. Australia and the surrounding areas will not suffer as much as some of the rest of the world. The need for the world to continue in prayer and meditation is very important. So important that I am at a loss as to how to reach the general public. The world continues in its blindness and sees only what is right in front of its eyes. It will take a show of force to attract the attention of the western part of the world. Sorry, I think my son just walked by with watching a video. In this age of technology, men have begun to consider themselves as gods. They prefer to believe in their own mind and their own reasoning rather than in God's. They question everything and believe nothing. The questioning in itself is not bad, but when man will not listen to reason, he closes his eyes and ears. Mankind hurts himself. God does not have need of your prayers. By praying, you do not add one thing to God's greatness or goodness. It is for you as individuals and as a collective that prayers are said. It is for mankind that these prayers are raised. It is for your awakening that you pray. We of the spirit world are alive and we are already with God. We do not need your prayers. This warning is for each of you on earth today. The coming catastrophic events which will soon be on earth will awaken you to the power and might of God. The coming storms and tremors of unheard size will perhaps make believers of you. The other signs of UFO activity and supernatural events will call attention to our plea to man. Awaken and see what is about you. Awaken and see the danger you are already in. The world is changing, and there is nothing you can do to stop its changing. Man cannot control the weather patterns, nor can man control the size and frequency of the storms which will come out of the oceans. Man is helpless against earthquakes, which will be increasing in size, intensity, and frequency. Volcanoes will come out of nowhere. Old volcanoes will become active and alive with fury. These are just the beginning of the coming events. My apologies, I had to pause because it was getting a little loud, and it may get a little loud in my background, so I apologize for that. These warnings are to allow you to rethink how much strength you as humans have. You should realize that there is a super being called God, that there is someone who does control the weather, land, oceans, skies, and outer space. The coming storms are beginning to be blown across the earth as new vibrations approach Earth from the outer corners of the universe. These vibrations will cause many unusual happenings to occur on Earth. The growth of the universe will be a major cause of the increase in the intensity and size of the storms, which will batter your shorelines, your cities, and your plains. In a few years, the intensity of the vibrations of the magnetic field will cause many new and powerful reactions on Earth. You have just begun to see the fury of these storms. Those which come in 1990 and 1991, even though they will be of an increased size, will be nothing in comparison to the future storms which will lash the globe. The pressure of the barometric field and the magnetic fields will set new records. The tidal waves, which will also set new records of intensity and strength. The coastal lands will be racked with violence. This violence, which has been in your hearts these many years, will be out in view of all. This is not a punishment, but the effect of centuries of hatred, anger, and fear. The tensions which have invaded man's consciousness will be unleashed on the earth. Sometimes I think you do not understand how this is all working together. The growth of the universe is constant, and it is time for the world to turn on its axis. These violent storms would not have to be incurred, except that there has been much anger, hatred, fear, and emotions let loose in the atmosphere of the collective consciousness. These last 10 years of this era will be violent ones in nature and in the atmosphere. This is caused by the violence which has been let loose by the collective thinking of mankind during all these centuries. I'm so sorry. There will not be a third world war. I know a lot of people are predicting this. I personally do not think so prior to reading this book. For God will not allow you to destroy this beautiful earth with your nuclear arms. You will be too busy sustaining yourselves against the elements to wage war. There will be much destruction of land before the turning of the axis. The forest fires have just begun. The hurricanes have just started. The tornadoes, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, and the winds will batter you to such a degree that you will not have the energy or will to wage world war. The sun will also contribute to the destruction by performing in ways which your scientists are not accustomed. There will be famines in those lands which have the most wars. There will be floods and other unusual storms which will make the world feel that it is under siege, and it is. This is occurring for the future time, for in these last 10 years, we cannot allow you to destroy yourselves for all time. The earth still has life and a destiny. Along with all this violence will come my apparitions, which will be increasing all over the world. I will appear in many places and in unheard of places. The church will not have time to investigate all of my apparitions. They will, of course, deny most of them because they will be at a loss as to how to investigate and categorize them. But through it all, I will leave many displays of the supernatural and the unusual for the masses. My message at every place will be the same, and this is all in caps. Prayer, meditation, conversion, return to God in your heart and mind. This is how I will be manifesting to all mankind. These are impossible times, and it will take much faith and prayer to survive them. It will take the strong in heart and mind to withstand all the coming events. In this message, Mary summarized what we can expect before the turning of the planet on its axis. So here we go. The earthquakes will begin in this manner. There have already been several of large intensity in recent months. Each round of earthquake activity will progress in intensity and frequency. The amount of damage will grow. The quakes will begin above the equator. Then the southern hemisphere will begin to feel the onslaught. Even the Antarctic will have its share of quakes. More and more damage will occur around the world. The quakes will grow in intensity and feverishness each year. Atmospheric conditions will be affected. The volcanoes have already commenced. There is one volcano which is spewing lava daily and has been for some time. As the time draws near, other volcanoes will begin to flow and spill much lava and create new ground. Volcanoes will start to grow in places where there have not been any known volcanoes. Underwater volcanoes will create new lands in the oceans, but these lands will be unstable. As these last years progress, the sky will begin to darken and there will be more rains than usual. The so-called greenhouse effect will multiply its effects on Earth. As the volcanoes add new ash and debris to the upper atmosphere, the land will be under siege from storms. These storms will grow in intensity and unpredictability. The storms will be erratic in nature. They will come out of season and be of such magnitude as to be unimaginable. The oceans will churn and seem to boil in parts from the underwater volcanic eruptions. These will be times of distress on Earth for mankind. It will take the faith of prophets to maintain equilibrium. The storms will come slowly and grow each year. The days of cloudiness will increase erratically. At times when you need rain, there will be none. When it does rain, it will come in too great of quantities and too many days at a time. There will be extremes of all kinds. The unusual will become usual. The unpredictable will be what is predicted. The unbelievable will be commonplace. All about the land, people will comment and lament the days which seem to last forever. The days of usual weather patterns and of calm, pleasant, predictable weather will be gone for a while. Since the weather will be unsettled, the patterns so unseasonable, the ice at the South Pole will begin to melt in unusually large chunks. These large amounts of melted ice will cause the seacoast around the world to change gradually and permanently. There will be discoveries of archaeological treasures. Some mysteries will be solved and others preserved. But as always, as some questions are answered through archaeological means, others will be raised. Magnetic fields will play havoc on Earth in the last days. Machines will fail and science will not have answers. As the wave of magnetic energy which is traveling in the universe nears Earth, some unusual sights will occur in the heavens. There will be lights and sounds picked up from the furthest reaches of the universe. A different energy will enter the atmosphere. This will be one of the causes of the changing weather patterns. The wave of new and different energy which is approaching the planet is bringing with it much debris from outer space. This debris will cause lights to flash in the atmosphere. Some of the debris will land on Earth, causing craters and changes to Earth's lands. In this new energy will be the makings of new stars and a new sun, which will enter the immediate solar system. The changes have started gradually and will escalate in intensity and frequency. The static electricity will increase and there will be major electrical storms. I have seen the wave drawing nearer to Earth. As it does, the people will sense great changes in the air. The animals will begin to die off from changes which are evolutionary. Many people will blame other factors, and some of these factors are true, such as the burning of large tracts of forest, the extension of populated areas into the animal's domain. But in truth, it is time for an evolutionary period to come to bear on Earth. These predictions will be ongoing occurrences. The storms and the earthquakes will become increasingly larger in intensity and destruction. But there will be some years in which the storms will become less violent, less of a threat. In these years, people will say, "This is it, and it is over. There was no turning of the planet. This was all a hoax." But you, dear one, remember all things flow in the same pattern as the tides, in which there is ebb and flow. All things in the universe have this pattern of the tides within them. Storms flow in this same pattern. There is forward motion and backward motion in all. Progress in everything is made in this fashion. In releasing these predictions, I come to give events which will transpire in your future. When these events are unfolding, each person on Earth will see and know something unusual is happening. In giving this information, I am showing you that this message is true. My desire is for each person on Earth to connect to God and His great mind. I do not advocate the selling of property or moving about the world in order to avoid these events. What I say is that all parts of the globe will be affected. Every nation and every area of this world will feel the storms and the turmoil. How to prepare is through your mind and heart. It is imperative that each person make a good connection to God the Father. Now is the time to pray, to cleanse your heart of all malice, fear, and angers. It is time for man to see that the important issues of life are spiritual and not in properties or titles. Come, children of the world, come to the Father God with sincerity and earnestness. This is how to prepare for the future. This is where to place your emphasis, your value, and your life. And now we're going to talk about Mary's apparitions. To convey her message to the people of this world, Mary has committed to making more frequent appearances in many places around the world. I am at a loss as to how to interest the human population in preparing for the coming changes which are already occurring. I feel it will take more disasters and more spectacular aerial events to get its attention. For this reason, I will be appearing in many places in these next few years. If my apparitions increase, perhaps the general population will take notice and question. I notice, though, that when we hear of these apparitions of Mary, people do not look at it as a warning. They look at it as a blessing. And while it is a blessing, there's more to it. It's not just a random visit. They feel that they're special in some way, and in ways, certainly they could be, but they're not looking at it from the correct angle. I know I certainly wouldn't if I didn't have any clue about anything else. I would look at it as most people do, as a miracle, as a way of her showing that this area is blessed or maybe even beloved by God, perhaps more so. Or the religion that most of these people were that may have seen it may feel that theirs is the superior and that's why they're seeing it. There's so many things that can go through a person's mind. I come to give you the same message I have given at Fatima, Lourdes, Mexico, and in many other places. My message has not changed, and it will not change in the future. I am concerned with all who are now living on earth, for this is the end time. And remember, she said the world is not ending, but the end of many things is what is happening, which is causing a new beginning. This is the time which John foresaw in his writings of Revelation. He used those words which would best describe the events in language which was in use at that time. Now I come to give you the same message. There are some dark days ahead. There will be much destruction of the land, and this must happen in order for this planet to continue to exist. In Yugoslavia, for instance, the people are so tied to the church that everything must go through the church officials. I wish to get the message to those people who are not a part of this church community. Everyone will be affected by these changes, and everyone has the right to know. It will be through these writings that I send a message to the rest of the world outside of the church and any religion. I will appear in many places, but you will probably not hear of this. In 1 year, I will cause a miracle to happen in Russia. Some of the people of this country have maintained their spiritual worship of the Creator in their hearts. This spiritual growth is being felt by their leaders. The new leader will allow the church to reopen and not punish the faithful. True worship is in their hearts and minds. I cannot always count on your news media to relay the story of my apparitions. I have been appearing in many places, but in some countries I am not recognized. In some countries it is kept quiet and not told, for fear the people will come close to the church. For instance, in Russia, I have been appearing in many places, but because of the commotion in Yugoslavia, the government has put a ban on any more publicity. But it is spreading by word of mouth, for there are many who are questioning what is happening. I will appear at the season of the celebration of Jesus' birth in different parts of the world. My presence will not be denied, because there will be much evidence of the supernatural. There will be miracles. I will appear to the mainstream of human life, so there cannot be the denial of the past. I will be in many places, and the people of earth will know and feel this is me. I come to plead for your minds and hearts. I come to warn of the coming turning of the planet Earth. I will appear in Canada and in the mountains of South America. And down here it says, this message that I just read right there was received August 31st of 1988, long before we had heard anything about the young woman in Ecuador receiving messages from Mary. I will appear in Korea so the people will have compassion for their own. I will appear in the islands around the world and allow the people of these islands to see me and to feel the great love of God. I will appear in the mountains of Europe and in the countryside. My presence will be seen in the Middle East, near Jordan, and those countries. I wish to warn the Muslim nations and to allow them to consider that Allah and God are the same spirit. During the time this message was being received from Mary, the local news began to report of 3 individuals receiving messages from Mary in Lubbock, Texas. Annie asked Mary if she was indeed appearing to these 3. Have I not told you I would be appearing all over the world, and I will be manifesting myself in many different areas and ways? Yes, dear one, this is my presence, which is felt in this place. It is not only me, but the very Spirit of God Himself, who is energizing the church. This church was chosen because the priest who is leading this church has prayed much and earnestly. More will be revealed by this church, and more I will be seen in other countries of the world. August 15th, 1988 was the day that Mary was expected in Lubbock. Doubting Annie, like doubting Thomas, asked Mary if she was going to appear in Lubbock. Yes, this is one of the places I am sending my messages. Since so many have gathered together, I will be there, and there will be healings of different magnitude. The Dallas Morning News, August 16, 1988, page 1 had the article, Miracle Vigil, 15,000 gather to seek a sign from God, and some see it. The follow-on articles include, Study of Miracles Sought, Lubbock Bishop says special panel will be named, and Miracle Probe may take years. Lubbock faithful insists events did take place. My apparitions will take place in many diverse and unrelated areas. I will be seen on mountaintops, I will be in the middle of the sky, and in the middle of the ocean. I will be seen in valleys, by the ocean, and near inland lakes. There will not be one place where I will not be seen by the end of this era. I will make simultaneous apparitions. I will speak to many people and tell them what I have given you and the children in Yugoslavia. The points of light near my apparitions will increase as more and more spirits take part in this warning. I will appear in your area near Dallas after the book is published. I will make it on August 15th to commemorate the day set aside in my honor by those souls in the Catholic Church. This will give time for this book to reach the public and for preparations to be made for this apparition. It will be a major apparition. I will heal on that day and leave a fount of healing in that place. I will continue to appear to men until the last day. I will be making more and more appearances. I will be blessing all who seek to find the truth with God's blessing. He is the one whom I represent. His love is what I give to all men. It is his healing power which I leave behind each apparition. Events already reported in news media. DMN denotes, it means the Dallas Morning News. Most of these are from the local paper. So their local paper, the Dallas Morning News. The first one, big quake rocks India, Bangladesh, and Burma. And that's titled Around the World from Sunday, August 7th, 1988, page 27A. Number 2, where quake hits by the hundreds, but tiny tremblers do little harm. Sunday, August 7th, 1988, page 4A. Number 3, strong quake hits eastern Canada, Saturday, November 26th, 1988, page 14A. Number 4, earthquake kills thousands in Soviet Union, Thursday, December 8th, 1988, front page. This is about the earthquake in Armenia. Number 5, quake victims buried as Soviets search for survivors. Wednesday, January 25th, 1989, page 5A. This is about the Tajikistan earthquake. Unusual weather patterns. Number 1, drought attributed to jet stream split. Scientists unsure whether greenhouse effect also may be responsible. Sunday, June 26, 1988, page 22A. Number 2, U.S. scientist says report censored. White House altering of global warming paper causes furor. From the Fort Worth Star Telegram, Tuesday, May 9th, 1989, section 1, page 4. Polar caps. Number 1, big icebergs break from Antarctica. Ross Sea flow is twice size of Rhode Island. With an insert, changing the face of a continent. The date unknown, but it was in 1988. Note, I think this was from the front page. It was continued on page 10A as big. Number 2, the rising tide. Researchers links Arctic ice to retreat of Texas coastline. Sunday, March 26, 1989, page 37A in the Texas and Southwest section. And the last section, sun activity, solar flares, and northern lights. Number 1, intense solar flare may threaten broadcast waves. And again, these are all the Dallas, what was the name of it? Dallas Morning Newspaper. This was from March 18th, 1989, page A4 under the title Around the U.S. Number 2, low glow. About seeing the aurora borealis in the southern 48. This was from May 1989, page 7. And Mary's apparition. Sorry, I didn't see this one. Number 1, miracle vigil. 15,000 gather to seek a sign from God, and some see it. This was from the August 16th, 1988 issue, page 1. And that's about Mary's appearance in Lubbock, Texas, which happened on August 15th, 1988. Number 2, woman's visions of Virgin Mary draw thousands to Alabama. This is from the Dallas Times-Herald. Sunday, December 11th, 1988, page A7. This is about Marija Pavlovic of Medjugorje, Yugoslavia, visiting friends in Strayrett, Alabama. And the last one, number 3, 3,000 Catholics gather hoping to see visions of the Virgin Mary. This was from Monday, March 13th, 1989, page 20A, under the title Around Texas and Southwest. Okay, so that completes chapter 2. And in this next chapter, we're going to be reading so many other things. I don't know how much these other things are going to be mentioned in the book, but that was first and foremost. And then I think later on she will say how to prepare if you do indeed believe these things and you want to take them into account. But the next chapter is titled Mary and Joseph's Life Together on Earth. What a lovely thing to learn more about. And I will be checking out that chapter to see how long it is and to see if we will need to break it up. So until I meet you again for chapter 3, I love you all very much. Take care of yourselves. Take care of those around you. Pray. Pray for yourself. Pray for your family. Pray for every person on this planet and for planet Earth. We could all use those prayers. And so until I see you again, take care. I love you all so much. Bye-bye.